Good morning, guys. Hey, this is from Monday, October 12th. Here's the deal, guys. We're on our social studies, our communities books, and I know we've been flipping around a lot. We worked on graphs last week, but for this one, we're going way to the back of the book. And you see pages that are kind of weird because on the bottom it says R. But you want R6 and 7. If you find a map of the United States on page R6 and 7, the back of the book, you're in the right spot, guys. Here's what we're going to talk about today. You might know that water is a great resource. Like going back to science, every living thing needs water, right? But we're not talking about water for sustaining life or when you're thirsty. We're talking about states that have an advantage because they're near the water. And here's what I mean by take a look at the United States of America here popping up. Now, I think that you know that here's what we have. We have ocean over here, the Pacific Ocean. We have the Atlantic Ocean over here, and down here the Gulf of Mexico. Here's good old Arizona. But what I mean by that is, how do the states near the water have an advantage over states that don't? So I'm talking like Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, Florida, New York. Why do they have an advantage when a lot of these states don't? And the answer, my fine folks, is shipping. Take a look. If you can believe, this ship is just massive. And every single one of these piled high is a semi-truck. They'd actually unload that and put that right on a semi-trailer and take it on the highways that you pass all the time when you're driving to and from Phoenix and such. That's a lot of cargo. That's a lot of items. And what we're going to talk about a lot for the next week is really how states get money. And then talk about by selling and making goods. Now that could be plants and selling food. It could be making clothes in the States. I think you guys understand that everybody needs to work and everybody needs to make money in order to buy the things that they need, a house, a car, and food. If you don't have anything to sell, it's not going to go well. Well, you look back at the map of the United States here, and we have, a lot of great things that we share, right? I mean, in Arizona, you go to the grocery store, you can get all the groceries you need. You go to Walmart, you can get the clothes and things you need. But how did that get there? And again, we see on the roads all the different semis with the trucks and the trailers and the huge semi-trucks carrying stuff. But a lot of that didn't come from Arizona. A lot of that comes from Texas and California and Washington. And most of our states trade with one another, where if we say, okay, this Walmart in Globe, Arizona needs stuff, they might buy it from the big headquarters. I don't know where the headquarters are. Let's say Chicago, Illinois, and it'll literally get shipped on a semi-truck and driven all the way down here to the good old state of Arizona. But a lot of other states don't transport goods on highways. They'll do it on the water. And here's a cool thing. You might have just seen different things if you're driving on a long trip. You might see the different things on the side of the road where semi-trucks have to pull off and get weighed. You see, a lot of times trading through states, each state is going to charge taxes on different things. And a lot of times, each state you go through, you might have to pay different tolls or taxes. So if we buy stuff from Chicago, Illinois, they might charge a tax for Illinois, and then to use the Missouri roads, they might have to charge a tax there or a toll. And then through Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas, New Mexico, and all those states, you got to pay different taxes, and that raises the price way up. Well, if some place in Texas here sells it to, let's say New York, they could ship it or transport it on a semi-truck and go through all these states, or they could cut that and just ship it on ships all the way around here. That's why being on water and shipping water is so important for so many states. because you can ship it, and nobody owns the ocean, right? You can't just say, oh, I'm going through the part of that Florida owns. No, no, no. That's free. You can go anywhere you want. Now, there's different rules and things, but you don't have to pay the taxes and tolls that you do on roads and through states. So the term we're going to learn about today is called being landlocked. And just like if you're locked inside of a room, you got 4 walls that lock you in. You can't go out. You're stuck in that room. Well, being landlocked, like Kansas is, means that he's locked in on all sides by land. Now, you guys know when you cross the border between Kansas and Oklahoma, it's not a literal wall, but the point is, if Kansas, they sell some stuff, and they're known for making wheat. They sell some wheat. They have to put it on a semi-truck, and they have to charge the taxes and tolls that it takes to go through the country. They can't ship it because they have no water nearby, because they are landlocked. All the way around them is land. That's what it means to be landlocked. Now, we have quite a few states in our country that are landlocked. In fact, most of our states are not on the ocean, but we have some. Down here we have more, and some of these smaller states in the Northeast are all on water, but that's a great advantage. Look at all these states in here that are landlocked. Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas. They don't have the advantage because they can't just put it on a huge ship and ship everything anywhere they want, even across the whole world. They have to pay the different state taxes and tolls. They don't have a choice, which is why states like Florida and California, they have huge cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco and Seattle and Portland and Miami and New Orleans and Houston and New York. You probably heard of all those cities because they were first there because they knew, hey, in order to ship our goods, in order to be able to move our stuff wherever we want to sell it easier, it's good to be on an ocean. That's why they have the advantage well over all these landlocked states. Now, you might be right that all these squiggly lines are rivers and we have the Great Lakes here. We're going to get to that tomorrow to show how even some of these landlocked states have an out, so to speak. But right now, I want to focus on just being on the ocean. And let's get a little more closer to home. Good old Arizona. Is Arizona landlocked? And the answer is yes, absolutely. That doesn't mean we don't have any water. You can go to San Carlos Lake or Reservoir. You can go to Tempe Town Lake and see water. But it's not water for shipping, right? Arizona is landlocked. We have land on every last side. If you go north, there's land. Go west, there's land. If you go east, there's land. So on and so forth. Nobody in Arizona can say, hey, this weekend I'm going to the ocean in Arizona. There is no ocean in Arizona, right? It's landlocked. Here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. I'm sorry I got it sideways here. But your assignment is to take this map of the United States here for Monday, October 12th. And again, I'm sorry I'm reading it sideways. But I want you to color all the states that are landlocked. In other words, all the states that are not touching an ocean. Be careful. I know that it looks like there's an ocean here. Well, remember, we just went through that. If you look at the real map on page R6 and R7, you see, oh, this is Mexico down here. So don't let that confuse you. You really got to look at the map on page R6 and R7 and see which states touch an ocean, which do not. I want you to color the states that do not touch an ocean to show that you understand which states are landlocked. Again, just focus on what states are not touching the ocean. We'll talk about rivers and lakes tomorrow, but only the states that are not touching the ocean. I don't care what color you want, red, green, blue. Please color it neatly there. That's the assignment, guys. Lord's blessings to you. Have a very wonderful day as you praise your Savior.